because I will never let them take away your freedom.
Get rid of racism and stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man, and I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Military person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we had to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
He's right, he did beat Medicare, he beat it to death.
This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country.
I said there's nobody that could want an open border. Nobody. And now I find out that it wasn't him. He auto-penned it.
All right. Here we are. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, dude? What is up, beautiful Bill? Aquariums. I know, bro. I just uploaded the other video. Didn't even give you time to watch that one, dude. I know. It's a good one. I like that video I just made, by the way. It's a good one. Take on the strikes in Caribbean. Having your warships deployed close to home is likely cheaper than its scheduled deployment. Let's get into that in a little bit, bro. Thank you, bro. Hell yeah. Beautiful Bill. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's get this started. How is our sound? Our sound should be all right.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. Although important federal government data for the past couple of months have yet to be released, available public and private sector data suggests that the outlook for employment and inflation has not changed as much since our meeting in October. Conditions in the labor market appear to be gradually cooling, and inflation remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals, in light of the balance of risks to employment and inflation, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 1/4 percentage point. As a separate matter,
Dude's a hater, bro. He's already coming out hating, man. Dude, that's this guy, bro. This guy. Dude, have you heard that he might have been put in place with the Biden auto pen? It might get unraveled, bro. Let's go. Min, I hear you. I need coffee too. Miss Medication, can I have a coffee, please?
We also decided to initiate purchases of shorter-term Treasury securities solely for the purpose of maintaining an ample supply of reserves over time, thus supporting effective control of our policy rate. I will have more to say about monetary policy and its implementation after briefly reviewing economic developments. Although some key government data have yet to be released, available indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a moderate pace. Consumer spending appears to have remained solid, and business fixed investment has continued to expand. In contrast, activity in the housing sector remains weak. The temporary shutdown of the federal government has likely weighed on economic activity in the current quarter, but these effects should be mostly offset by higher growth next quarter, reflecting the reopening.
There we go, guys. So the government shutdown, your Democrat government shutdown, your Schumer liberal, left-wing, socialist wing of the party, that shutdown hurt us. But the growth that we have ahead of us is going to offset that. So don't you worry.
In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects that real GDP will rise 1.7% this year and 2.3% next year.
Is this really this guy's graph he's going to show us, bro, from 1981? Holy cow, dude. What is that right there? What are we looking at, guys?
Year, somewhat stronger than projected in September. In the labor market, although official employment data for October and November are delayed, available evidence suggests that both layoffs and hiring remain low, and that both households' perceptions of job availability and firms' perceptions of hiring difficulty continue to decline. The official report on the labor market for September, the most recent release, showed that the unemployment rate continued to edge up, reaching 4.4%, and that job gains had slowed significantly since earlier in the year. A good part of the slowing likely reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and labor force participation, though labor demand has clearly softened as well. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen in recent months. In our SEP, the median projection of the unemployment rate is 4.5% at the end of this year and edges down thereafter. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Very little data on inflation have been released since our meeting in October. Total PCE prices rose 2.8% over the 12 months ending in September, and excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices also rose 2.8%.
Dude, I could not imagine. I would be gone. I could not handle this guy. And mind you, remember, Donald Trump just yesterday was talking shit on him. So this guy's coming out. He's got no love for nobody.
These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up, reflecting the effects of tariffs. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing for services. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have declined from their peaks earlier in the year, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 2.9% this year and 2.4% next year, a bit lower than the median projection in September.
Did you hear that? You hear that? PCE inflation is down, bro. It's going down, baby. If you're listening closely, inflation in general is on its way down. It's a beautiful thing.
Thereafter, the median falls to 2.
Look at that inflation, though, under Joe Biden. Look at this 2020. Look at the 2020. It started, went all the way up. PCE inflation, all the way up, and it's went even higher 2022, and then they try to drop it down to win the election.
2%. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 3.5 to 3.75%. In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. There is no risk-free path for policy as we navigate this tension between our employment and inflation goals. A reasonable base case is that the effects of tariffs on inflation will be relatively short-lived, effectively a one-time shift in the price level. Our obligation is to make sure that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. But with downside risks to employment having risen in recent months, the balance of risks has shifted. Our framework calls for us to take a balanced approach in promoting both sides of our dual mandate. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to lower our policy rate by a 1/4 percentage point. With today's decision, we have lowered our policy rate 3/4 of a percentage point over our last 3 meetings.
So they lowered the rate, guys. Here we go. It's time to invest in what mortgages and shit like that. Mortgage businesses.
This further normalization of our policy stance,
Whoever you know in the mortgage business is going to be doing good right now.
should help stabilize the labor market while allowing inflation to resume its downward trend toward 2% once the effects of tariffs have passed through. The adjustments to our policy stance since September bring it within a range of plausible estimates of neutral and leave us well positioned to determine the extent and timing of additional adjustments to our policy rate based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. In our summary of economic projections, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path of the federal funds rate under what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.4% at the end of 2026 and 3.1% at the end of 2027, unchanged from September.
Min, he was talking about PCE inflation. I just pulled it up. It's personal consumption expenditures inflation is a key U.S. inflation gauge from the Bureau of Economic Analysis. That measures the price of changes for goods and services consumers buy, reflecting shifts in spending habits, making it broader and often smoother than actual CPI, which is a typical inflation.
As is always the case, these individual forecasts are subject to,
or I should say, the typical inflation numbers that we look at,
uncertainty, and they're not a committee plan or decision. Monetary policy is not on a preset course, and we will make our decisions on a meeting-by-meeting basis. Let me turn now to issues.
You hear what he just said? He said that his policies and what he's doing basically are not on a preset course, that he does it on a meeting-to-meeting basis, except for when Trump is the president and he wants to make everyone crazy.
Related to the implementation of monetary policy, with the reminder that these issues are separate from and have no implications for the stance of monetary policy. In light of the continued tightening in money market interest rates relative to our administered rates and other indicators of reserve market conditions, the committee judged that reserve balances have declined to ample levels. Accordingly, at today's meeting, the committee decided to initiate purchases of shorter-term Treasury securities, mainly Treasury bills, for the sole purpose of maintaining an ample supply of reserves over time. Such increases in our securities holdings ensure that the federal funds rate remains within its target range and are necessary because the growth of the economy leads to rising demand over time for our liabilities, including currency and reserves. As detailed in a statement released today by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, reserve management purchases will amount to $40 billion in the first month and may remain elevated for a few months to alleviate expected near-term pressures in money markets. Thereafter, we expect the size of reserve management purchases to decline, though the actual pace will depend on market conditions. In our implementation framework, an ample supply of reserves means that the federal funds rate and other short-term interest rates are primarily controlled by the setting of our administered rates, rather than day-to-day discretionary interventions in money markets. In this regime, standing...
Bro, this guy is so boring. Our stream is only at like 400 viewers right now. That's crazy, dude. We should be at like 2K, like 1,500 to 2K. That is wild. This guy is boring as hell. And dude, why do we have one loser in charge of this right now? Why? Why is it just one idiot? Remember when we had Fauci in charge of everything medical related, health related in our country?
Repurchase agreement or
the same thing with this Fed shit, bro.
Repo operations are a critical tool to ensure that the federal funds rate remains within its target range, even on days of elevated pressures in money markets. Consistent with this view, the committee eliminated the aggregate limit on standing repo operations. These operations are intended to support monetary policy implementation and smooth market functioning and should be used when economically sensible. To conclude, the Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing our inflation sustainably down to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. At the Fed, we will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Howard.
Thank you. Howard Schneider with Reuters. Just first turning to the statement, just to be clear, we're on the same page here. The insertion of the phrase, considering the extent and timing of additional adjustments, does that indicate that the Fed is now on hold until there's some clearer signal from inflation or jobs or the evolution of the economy along the baseline outlook?
So, yes, the adjustments since September bring our policy within a broad range of estimates of neutral. And as we noted in our statement today, we are well positioned to determine the extent and timing of additional adjustments based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. That new language points out that we'll carefully evaluate that incoming data. And also, I would note that having reduced our policy rate by 75 basis points since September and 175 basis points since last September, the Fed funds rate is now within a broad range of estimates of its neutral value, and we are well positioned to wait to see how the economy evolves.
And if I could follow up on the outlook there, it seems like with the additional GDP growth coupled with easing inflation and a fairly steady unemployment rate, this seems like a pretty optimistic outlook for next year. What's given rise to that? Is this an early bet on AI? Is there some sense of improving productivity out there? What's driving that?
So a number of things are driving what's happening in the forecast. And I would say if you look broadly at outside forecasts, you do see a pickup in growth in many of those now, too. So it's partly that consumer spending has held up. It's been resilient. And to another degree, it is that AI spending on data centers and related to AI has been holding up business investment. So overall.
So you hear that, guys? So this is the outlook coming in for next year. So the efforts in AI, despite what everyone from the left will tell you, is a great thing that we're doing for our country. And everything's looking on the up and up, coming up. Even though this guy hates Trump, he's got to tell it like it is in this case, because he'd be a moron to tell us something that's completely false in the opposite direction.
The baseline expectation for next year is, at least at the Fed, and I think with outside forecasters too, is a pickup in growth from today's relatively low level of 1.7%. I mentioned that the SEP median is 1.7 for this year growth and 2.3 for next year. You actually, some of that is due to the shutdown. So you can take 0.2 out of 2026 and put it in 2025. So it would really be 1.9 and 2.1. But overall, yes, for a few reasons, fiscal policy is going to be supportive, and as I mentioned, AI spending will continue. The consumer continues to spend, so it looks like the baseline would be solid growth next year.
Thank you.
Steve.
So you guys heard that baseline will be solid growth next year. So that's great, guys. That's fantastic. Looking forward to that. That is awesome to hear, even from a Trump hater. You are a Trump. This is to Jerome Powell, bro. He is a Trump hater and a beta male.
You are a Trump hater and you are a beta male.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for taking our questions here. You had previously described rate cuts in terms of a risk management framework, and kind of following up on what Howard was asking, is the risk management phase of rate cuts over here, and have you taken out sufficient insurance, I guess, against potential weakness in terms of the data we might get next week when it comes to employment?
So we're going to get a great deal of data between now and the January meeting, and I'm sure we'll talk more about that. And the data that we get are going to factor into our thinking. But yes, we have, if you go back, we held our policy rate at 5.4% for more than a year because inflation was high, very high, and unemployment and the labor market was really solid at that point. So what happened is over last summer of 24, inflation came down and the labor market began to show real signs of weakness. And so we decided, as our framework tells us to do, that when the risks to the two goals become more equal, you should move from a stance that favors really dealing with one of them, in that case inflation, to a more balanced, more neutral setting. And so we did that. We did some cutting, and then we paused for a while to work our way through what was happening in the middle of the year. And then we resumed cuts in September, and we've cut now 3. We've now cut a total of 175 basis points. And as I mentioned,
So in other words, they just kept cutting as Trump told them they should be doing. They should be cutting. They should have been cutting. And they just wanted to make everyone crazy, including Trump, mainly Orange Man bad. And in the end, they ended up doing it anyway. They're reluctant to do it, but they did it anyway because they have to, because they'd be looked at like complete morons. They'll have books written. This guy will have books written after him, bro. He's an idiot.
We feel like where we're positioned now we're well positioned to wait and see how the economy evolves from here.
If I could just follow up on the SEP, you have a whole lot of big increase in the growth numbers, but not a big decline in the unemployment numbers. And is that an AI factor in there? What is going on in terms of the dynamic of you get more growth, but you don't get a whole lot of decline in unemployment? Thank you, sir.
So the implication is obviously higher productivity. And some of that may be AI. It just also, I think, productivity has just been.
I agree, Joshua, and also aquariums, bro. It's time, dude. We gotta move on, bro.
Almost structurally higher
from this dude. This dude's just a straight low life, bro. Low life.
For several years now. So if you start thinking of it as 2% per year, you can sustain higher growth without more job creation. Of course, higher productivity is also what enables incomes to rise over long periods of time. So it's basically a good thing. But that's certainly the implication.
Thank you. Colby Smith with the New York Times. Today's decision was...
Guys, right after this, I got Trump live, so hang tight.
...clearly very divided. It wasn't just the two official dissents against the cut, but there were also soft dissents from 4 other...
You know what? I'm going to cut the Trump, bro. This guy's making us fall asleep, dude. Let's go to Trump. Let's go to Daddy Trump, bro. Let's go.
Largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening, so you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking.
Right, just started. Let's turn it up.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Hi, Steve. Hi, everybody. Brian, hi. Do you want to bring that camera over there? It's okay. Bring him over there. It's better. Go ahead. Now, bring him over right into the center. Yeah, it's okay.
This is Jerome. This is the head office.
Nice to see you. Well, thank you very much. It's been an interesting day from the standpoint of news. As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, a large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually. And other things are happening, so you'll be seeing that later, and you'll be talking about that later with some other people. Very excitingly for me and for the country, we've just launched the Trump Gold Card. It was about 30 minutes from now. The site goes up, and all funds go to the United States government. It could be a tremendous amount of money. It'll also be able to have people like this keep, as an example, just one example, there are a lot of examples, people just buying them. It's somewhat like a green card, but with big advantages over a green card. And companies are going to be able to go to the Wharton School of Finance, the Stern Business School, Harvard, MIT, wherever you may get your students, any school, and you're able to buy a card and keep that person in the United States, actually, so there's certainty, because I've heard from Tim Cook of Apple, and I've heard from a lot of people, some of the people at this table, that essentially in the United States you can't keep the student. You can't hire people from the best colleges because you don't know whether or not you can keep the person. They come and have the people
what up,
get out.
Random?
They throw the person out of the country. You graduate #1 from your college, and there's no way of
He's already
guaranteeing.
coming out swinging, bro.
There's no way of guaranteeing that they're able to stay in the country. Howard, maybe you'll give a little description of the Trump Gold Card, please.
Sure. So for an individual, it's $1 million, and for a corporation, it's $2 million. And as the president said, for a corporation, they spend $2 million. They can then have an employee, full vetting, the best vetting the government has ever done, $15,000 vetting.
I love the vet, bro. The best vetting ever, bro. It's core vetting, bro. They're core vetting them, bro.
Make sure these people absolutely qualify to be in America. Absolutely qualify. And then the company can keep them here, and they have a path to citizenship, right? Obviously, they have to be perfect people in America, and having passed the vetting after 5 years.
Have them pass the core vetting, bro. We got to start core vetting these immigrants, bro. Let's go.
They'll be available to become citizens, and then the corporation can put someone else on the card. So for a company, they can keep putting people on the card, one person per card, and for an individual, it's $1 million, and it's a gift to the United States of America to help America be great again under Donald Trump.
And it's really two gifts. It's a gift of getting somebody great coming into our country, because we think these will be some tremendous people that wouldn't be allowed to stay. You know, they graduate from college, they have to go back to India, they have to go back to China, they have to go back to France, they have to go back to wherever they came from. Very hard to stay. It's a shame. It's ridiculous things. We're taking care of that. The companies are going to be very happy. I know Apple's going to be happy, but a lot of the companies, nobody talked to me more about it than Tim Cook. He said it's a real problem. And it's not going to be a problem anymore. As you know, they used to send people up to Canada and other places, other countries, so we solved that. And the other thing is it'll take in, we think, probably billions of dollars that will go to the Treasury of the United States. That will go to
billions and billions.
An account where we can do things positive for the country. So it'll be a great thing. We'll take it, I think.
We could Chevette them too, but I like Corvette, bro. I'd rather Corvette them. Surfer dude. Surfer dude's back. What's up?
Billions of dollars.
Billions and billions.
Many billions of dollars, even.
Billions.
So that's very exciting. The Trump accounts are doing really well. We have a man on my right, Michael Dell, who's an extraordinary person. His wife is even more extraordinary. I think I can say that. They have such a good relationship.
I love it, bro.
She's an extraordinary person.
Talking about men's wives. Right in front of them.
Two great people, and as you know, last week Michael contributed $6,250 million, and this is just something that's so special.
Joshua, you know I agree with you on Porsche, bro. It's that's the baddest, bro. It's the baddest.
Many people are in love with that.
But I'll tell you, when you got those Corvettes on the track with you, even in the Porsche, man, those Corvettes, they're strong on the racetrack, bro. They're strong.
He understood it right from the beginning. It was his idea, and he understood it right from the beginning. Could you give maybe just a little description?
Holy cow, Joshua even named... No wonder you watch my channel, bro. Come on now. You even name your daughter Porsche? Do you call her Porsche or Porsche?
Of why you loved it for such a long period of time, and we were able to get it through the great big beautiful bill, basically. That's how, what
Beautiful
gave us the
bill.
authorization to do it. Michael, please.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. So, when we first heard about this idea.
Oh, Miss Medication decided to come and chime in.
I'm busy. But no, his daughter's name is Portia. That's a cute girl's name.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, so she said your daughter's name is Portia, not Porsche, because it's a girl, so it's Portia. And that's what he said Portia. He did. He said in the chat.
The idea was that the government would give $1,000 to a newborn baby in an account that they would own, and it would go in essentially the S&P 500 and compound. And when the child becomes 18, they could use that money to go to college, to buy a home, to start a business, to continue saving. And I thought that was a great idea. I thought it'd be great if companies matched the government's contribution, which we're doing, and a lot of the companies around the table have committed to doing that. And also thought about this is, wow, this is going to be like a platform for families and communities and philanthropists to contribute to those accounts. And so we originally started with the idea of, well, what if we gave some money to all the kids in our home state of Texas?
Dude, there you go, aquariums. It just hit me that why you said Dodge Viper, bro. Of course. You love reptiles, bro. I love it.
Texas, right? We thought that would be a nice thing to do.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, it is. 1 out of 10 new kids in America are born in Texas.
I like those chairs, dude. They look good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Happen to be a fan.
That looks like nice leather. Looks comfortable.
Of the state of Texas. But anyway, we thought about it some more, and we thought, this is going to be something really special. We have a foundation. It focuses on children. It's been around for 26 years, and we said, well, why don't we go bigger? And so we talked about it, and now that the Investment America Act is a law, which that in itself is a
So do vets, bro. Vets overheat too, by the way.
Is a incredible thing that occurred. It does create a platform.
Special on the racetrack.
And we were super happy to announce that we would give, $250. We arrived at $250 because next year will be the 250th birthday of America and 25 million children. We thought that was a nice thing to do because it would include most of the children that are 10 and under, that are not part of the government program, that live in zip codes where the median income is less than $150,000. And that was also an important part of our contribution. And I do believe there will be a number of other large gifts announced. I've already spoken with a few that will be announcing gifts at the state level,
right?
And more to come.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's amazing the vision you have, but that's why you're so successful, frankly. And to think that Michael started off with not a lot of money, I would say, right? Not too much, like very little. And he can give a gift of $6,250,000,000, and I know he said he's going to do a lot more. It's pretty amazing. It's really a beautiful thing to watch. So great for our country. So we have.
Yes, I agree, aquariums. They are an instant ED medication. However, they are very rough. They do not feel refined at all. There's no feeling of refinement whatsoever in that car.
The Trump accounts are doing really well, and it's become, I have to tell you, just everyone's talking about it, beyond what I would have even thought. And it's going to make some young people relatively very wealthy. And in some cases, I mean, they could really be off to a great start. So some people have had that advantage, and some people haven't. But it's a wonderful thing. Thank you to you and your beautiful wife. Thank you very much. So it's a pleasure to welcome so many brilliant minds and distinguished business leaders back to the White House. I love these brilliant minds, including Michael Dell of Dell Technologies, who makes a great product. And I want to thank him for what he's done, what we just discussed, the accounts. We also are grateful to be joined by Enrique Lores of HP. So Thank you very much, Enrique. Great job you're doing. Antonio Neri of HP Enterprise, thank you very much. What's the difference between HP and HP Enterprise?
We focus on the cloud security, networking, and large systems.
The cloud's good. People have done very well with the cloud. That's great. Arvind Krishna of IBM, who's actually become, I would say, a legend. The job he's done. He's taken the stock from a rather low price to a very nice price. I won't say high because I'm sure you're going to say it's going to go up a lot more, right? So I can't say a high price. But he took IBM into a new stratosphere that nobody, I think, saw. If you go back to before when he took over the company, nobody would have even imagined.
That's right, baby. I became legal when I was born here, baby. That's right, and I'm repping America, baby. Let's go. By the way, we got some stuff coming, so be on the lookout, dude.
You'd be able to do what you've done. So congratulations.
What up, State Line?
Thank you. Good friend, Cristiano Amon of Qualcomm. And thank you very much. Congratulations on the success.
Thank you.
I know a lot about your company. You've done amazing. And Executive Director of the Technology CEO Council, Bruce Mailman. So, thank you very much. I think that these people know each other. We're going to be talking a little bit about technology today, and we'll take a few of your questions about technology. I'm sure you probably won't have too many of those questions. You'll be asking about some other things, right, Bruce? Our administration is committed to total dominance in technology. Right now we're leading artificial intelligence by a lot. And I think, you look at what's going up, and we're writing rules, regulating.
I have driven a Rabbit, bro. I've driven a convertible one and a regular Rabbit. Dude, I was in the cars my whole life. I've driven almost every car you can imagine. Dude, they're so fun, those Rabbits. Did they ever make a 16 valve? I can't remember. I think there were only 8 valves.
We want to keep it at the federal government.
By the way, you may not know, but you may not even be able to see it, bro. Let me make an adjustment here. Let me see if I can show you this. If I go like this and I go like that, and you look in that corner right there where I'm pointing, that's those are Porsche hubcaps, old school 911, 1960s and 70s hubcaps. Those chrome things in the corner. Those are pretty sweet. I got 2 more of those in the garage.
Government level, so it's simple for the company. Is very important, frankly. And I think we're pretty well committed. I spoke to some of the senators today. And I think we're committed to do that. We want to make it as simple as possible, as easy, because you're competing with some very big sources, and we want to stay number one by a lot. We're leading the world in building new data centers and new semiconductor and chip manufacturing facilities and new capacity for AI. And we're unleashing all of the forms, literally all forms of energy and natural gas and oil to clean, beautiful coal and safe, reliable nuclear power. And I'm giving them approval to, when they build these massive plants that cost $50 billion. It used to be that for $50 million, you could build a nice little shopping center. But for $500 million, you could build one of the biggest, most beautiful centers. And now they're talking about $50 billion. So explain that one. These buildings are...
That's beautiful, bro. Billions, baby. Billions are coming, bro. That's why next year we got good forecasts, bro. Where they're building and they're building and they're building and they're spending billions and billions. Dude, I haven't talked about Ford Festivals this much in my whole life, bro. Ford Festival, baby. Let's go.
There's never been anything like that. So you're all involved in that. It's pretty amazing. 1 year ago, our country was considered dead by many leaders throughout the world. And now we have what's called the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country in the world right now. 10 months it took us.
Kathar Bivish Mohammed says, I'm in India. Why is your name Mohammed, bro, if you're from India? You're not trying to convert us to Islam, are you?
I thought it was going to take longer, Michael. I didn't think we were going to have this success this soon. We have over $18 trillion being invested, so much of it by Like you're in for a lot. What's the number that you're looking at?
150.
Jeez, Aquariums, good luck, bro. Let us know how that goes, dude.
150 billion.
By the way, Aquariums, before you go, use your new emoji, bro? Have you used the new emoji? That's our new guy, bro. The Persian guy in the back of behind Trump.
That's good. I don't know, Mike. Am I allowed to ask you? You already gave 6,250,000,000. Do you have you stated a number that you're at for investment, future investment?
Well, you know, if I
India says, I am a woman, I am married. That's fine. That's fine and all. We're not trying to get at that, bro. But you're not trying to convert us to Islam, are you?
I think about all the investment that we make with the American companies that are adding capacity, particularly around semiconductors. It's several $100 billion.
I think it's
beautiful bill, bro.
Makes the 6 billion sound very, very small. That's very good. Antonio, what about you guys? What about you and Enrique? How did that go?
Well,
have you announced a number or anything?
No, I'm actually happy to share with you. Over the next few years, we're going to invest an additional 3.5 billion building secure manufacturing.
Is it the Geo Metro or the Ford Festiva that has a 3-cylinder motor? I think one of them does.
We built the largest supercomputer for the United States government that supports both the DoD and DOE. So in the next 18 months, we're going to build the largest 5 supercomputers that will keep the United States ahead of the game, both in life science and AI, but also to keep ahead owning the entire stack at the national security level.
Ford Festival, I thought so, bro.
Are you doing it together or separate?
No, we are totally separate companies.
Totally separate, what?
From our side, we invest in the US around $18 billion per year. So if you look at the next five,
that's right.
It will be close to $100 billion. And we are going to be investing in AI at the edge, not only on data centers, but how to make AI.
Mohammed says, I am poor English. You are poor English. Are you Muslim?
Available to customers.
Muslim, yes or no?
In headsets, in devices that they would be using every day. Which is
so it's over $100 billion.
Yes.
And you're doing well. HP is doing really well.
Yes.
That's great.
We're competing hard with Michael, but we're doing well.
Are you direct competitors?
Yes.
That's it. That's why they're on different sides of the table, sir.
The old days would say, why don't you make a deal? I guess now it's not so easy to make a deal.
We can have an arm wrestling match now.
Yeah, right. And Cristiano, you've been amazing, right? Your company with the investments. How are you doing with investments?
We're doing great. I think, Mr. President, you have a great decision. I think when you drove our company to continue to be innovating, and I think we're doing very good. We've been, in addition to doing phones, I think we're now, our chips are going to every car company in the world, all the car companies.
I bet you understand an extended warranty. Do you understand extended warranty?
We're entering today robotics. There's a lot of.
Do you want to sell me extended warranty?
There's a lot of growth in robotics and the data center. New smart glasses going to be the future mobile devices. Industrial. I think a lot of the drive towards manufacturing the country is driving a lot of technology for smart manufacturing. We're making chips for that. So I think we're very excited. And I think, like Michael, I think the number of industries our chips are being enabling is driving hundreds of billions of dollars investments. And most important for us, semiconductor manufacturing is very important. So we are going to be customer of the fabs that are being built in the United States by TSMC and Samsung. So we're just going to keep going forward.
Yeah, those investments are very important, and we are all customers of those fabs.
This dude is saying, are you making fun of... No, bro, I'm trying to communicate. Do you know what the communicate means?
Those two are my customers.
Memory stuff? Memory?
We don't do memory. We do all the processing.
Who's the king of memory?
It's Micron and SK Hynix.
Micron's another one doing very well. That's great. Yeah, I heard you're doing fantastic.
I love it, bro.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
The stock market is set a 51.
W Sierra, dude, I love it.
Think of this, 51 all-time record highs during the last 10 months. 51. You guys are big beneficiaries. You're setting the records, right? It's amazing. 51 times we've hit a new high. And in the history of our country, if you think about it, 51 times during the last 10 months. And Bruce, let me ask you, pull these people all together. How's it looking for technology?
A lot of global competition, but you'd rather be playing our hand than any other hand in the world.
I love it.
We have a good hand right now, don't we? Joe Biden secured just really much less than $1 trillion of new investments in 4 years.
Says, what's your name? My name is Medi, bro. My last name is Turanian. That's why they call it Mediterranean. They named it that whole region after me. Mediterranean. Mediterranean.
And in 10 months, we secured more than $18 trillion. So 18 times the amount in 10 months what they did in 4 years. And they would have gone negative. They were heading toward negative. In other words, not $1 trillion, but it could have been 3 or 4 or 5 trillion less because people were leaving. So it was a big turnaround. In 10 months, the $18 trillion, it's a record. There's never been a country that's gotten anywhere near that. In the Middle East, when I left the Middle East, we brought back $3 trillion and lots of Boeing airplanes, like 300. And Boeing gave me the award for the greatest sales.
I'm kidding, guys. My last name is not Turanian, but that I should change my last name to Turanian. I really should. Mediterranean is beautiful. It's wonderful.
In the history of Boeing, which was a nice little award, every little plaque. The greatest, I think I've sold 1,000 Boeing planes. Can you believe it? Now all they have to do is make them. Okay, they got to make them, but they will. But we have made historic trade deals with the United Kingdom, China, Indonesia, Vietnam, Japan, the EU, Malaysia, Cambodia, El Salvador, Argentina, Ecuador, Guatemala, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Thailand, and South Korea, and many others. And a lot of it's based on the November 5th election result, which was a massive victory. We won all 7 swing states, the popular vote. We won the Electoral College by a landslide. We won.
Counties.
The counties, they do it.
Billions and billions, and we won this, and we won that, and
the Great White Hope.
He is the Great White Hope, guys. I love it. That's so good. It's so fun. Let's see what he's got for us today. Come on, bro. Talk to us, Trump.
I don't know. To me, it's the...
Talk to us, bro. Talk to us. Let us know what's going on, bro. Start digging in, bro. I want to hear something.
Most accurate of all in many ways. We're 2,700 counties against 525. That's pretty good, right, Cristiano?
Pretty good.
2,700 against 525. 525. That's why when you see the maps are all red, except for two little blue lines on the right and the left side of the map. They're probably changing too. Americans are great builders, and then
he's right, bro. You see the whole map. It's a whole map of USA is red, and then you got a couple little lines. Where am I here? You got a couple little lines on the edges that are blue, and I'm in one of those lines, by the way, in Southern California. And those could be changing soon too. People are fed up, dude. People are done, bro.
The Trump administration, America is once again a country where innovators get a green light. You have the greatest innovators in the world at this table, and representing a lot of their friends who are competitors and friends. But we're really on a big move to get rid of red tape so they can run their businesses and not have to wait 10 years for an approval. In the old days, getting some of these approvals for plants that are already being built.
Joa, bro, you guys need help in France, man. Hopefully you guys can save France, but France is a mess. It's a mess, dude. Holy cow. But hopefully you guys can fix it, dude. But you know what? Trump being president and us here in America voting for him to make him president and him doing what he's doing, it's setting a good example for you guys, man. It's enabling countries like yours to stand up for yourselves, and hopefully you can fix it, bro.
Would have taken 10, 15, even 20 years prior to rejection. You'd get rejected. You'd work 20 years and then you'd lose 5-4. And we're getting plants approved in a matter of weeks. The biggest plants ever built in a matter of weeks. For every new regulation, we're slashing more than 10 old regulations. So We're not allowing regulations unless they
Canada too, dude. Canada too, bro. Yeah, Joshua, he says France looks like Baghdad right now. Oh my God.
slash 10 old regulations. We did that in the first term, and we cut more regulation than any administration ever.
Bro.
In our first term, we
and
have
the French, dude, they're still woke over there. They're like, oh no, yeah, let them all keep coming. No, it's our country is trash. That's okay. Let's make it worse. Yeah, import them, import all the crazy knuckleheads in our country.
the all-time record. I think we're
Crazy,
exceeding
bro.
it here. In fact, now it's 1 in 24 is the number we're at. It's 1 in 10 you have to do, otherwise we're not letting you do it. But we're actually up to 1 in 24, so we get rid of 24 regulations for everyone. That's not a bad deal, right? And it's been very exciting, actually. But including we're allowing 100 in the Great Big Beautiful Deal. We're allowing 100% expensing for capital expenditures, including investments in factories and equipment and structure. So,
You got to show it for
including
the
even
guys that haven't
structure.
seen it, bro. This is the
So that
Great
if
White
Michael
Hope.
goes out and builds a factory, you can take it against tax immediately.
The Great
whole
White
thing. You
Hope.
don't have to wait 38
Right here.
years, or do it over a 38-year period. And I think that's what made the first
Great
tax
White
cut,
Hope.
which we, by the way, got extended in this tax cut. So, and you add it up, it's the biggest tax cut in the history of our country. But I think that the expensing factor, and it's good for 10 years too. I think that's maybe was the reason that so much growth was.
State line, no, I haven't, honestly, haven't engaged with them to do that yet because of all the changes I've made to the channel and everything else. So we got new merch coming, all kinds of stuff, man. So stay tuned. I'm going to do something. I'll tell you right now, dude, it's going to happen.
There were other reasons, but so much growth was gotten in the first term. So earlier this year, I said that the challenges of our time demand a new spirit of patriotism and national loyalty in Silicon Valley, smart people, and from the whole technology sector. And that patriotism is on huge display here in this room with some of the most brilliant people. And I'd now like to ask Secretary Howard Lutnick to say a few words, and OSTP Director Michael Kratsios also say a few words. And I look forward to hearing from Michael a little bit about this subject. Cristiano, welcome. And Arvind, you'll say something, and I appreciate it. And anybody else wants to say a couple of words, feel free. Good job. So why don't we start with...
Bro, we're here for the questions, bro, the media questions. Let's go. We want to hear Trump dig in.
Howard, please.
So the key to America's success is the amazing innovators that we have. I mean, we have invented everything from the light bulb, transistor, GPUs. We are on the edge.
King James is right, bro. He will rip me a new one for being a liberal before the missus. He will, bro. He'll get me good. He's gonna call me a beta, bro.
Beta.
He's gonna call me a beta male.
Beta male.
He's gonna say, so let me get this straight. You were a beta male.
Beta male.
He's gonna call me that, bro.
Everything. And we need to keep being on the edge. And the people at this table and this industry is why America's great. We need to build here. You know, for
I have it coming, bro.
too many years, we innovate.
When you announced really good results in this country, the stock market went up. And that's the way it should be. And we're going back to that. Because
Here we
otherwise
go.
you can never really attain true greatness. In other words, GDP at 4. Oh, 4 is so high.
What does the state line say? He's gonna ask when you knew you were gay.
That's a lie.
Well, hold on, I hit the wrong button.
Satan is your daddy, woman.
Oh, dude, where are my buttons, bro? Where are they? Oh, here we go.
So you a gay?
That's what it is. So you a gay?
So you a gay? I didn't know you were gay. How did you become gay?
That's what he's gonna ask me, bro.
So you a gay?
Let's raise interest rates and kill it. And we're going to go back.
How did you become gay?
Back to the old days. When we announce great results, it doesn't mean we're going to raise interest rates and try and kill it. It means that instead of 4% GDP or 3%.
Dude, that's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. Dude, I put that in the new video made. Guys, just so you know, I was literally up till 3 a.m. last night making the video I just put out. This video right here. And it says, and I put a clip of JLP saying that's a lie. Ilhan Omar is in there saying that white men are doing the most homicides in our country. And that's a lie. And I put JLP on there, bro. So this video right here, if you guys haven't watched it yet, well, you couldn't watch it because I just put it out right before I did this live stream. This video right here, I'm not going to play the whole thing. We got Trump going off on Somalians and Ilhan Omar not holding anything back. We got right here, Elon Musk. Let me put it on. About
so if fear was the driving force of
so this is what Ilhan Omar says, and then I put in JLP. Watch this.
Countries should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
That's a lie.
And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
Ilhan Omar wants to come over here from Somalia and tell us how to run our country. Bro, bro. She wants to tell us to stop go after the dude. You came all the way here and tell us to go after the white man
across our country. Because
listen to this. Listen to this right here.
I would say
hold on here.
Contribute every year billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
That's a lie.
And so if fear was the
how do you like that, bro? I had to put that in there, bro. Dude, got her good. But dude, she's crazy. I can't stand her either, bro. Makes me crazy, bro. But it's anyway, I made that video. We're gonna do more of those.
Which I said,
and I'm gonna call them out, bro, and we're gonna get JLP in there. But now we got video, so we can put him in there on the video. That's a lie. We'll call him out, bro. We'll do it.
Wonderful 3%. It should be able to be 20 or 25%. I don't know why it can't be. You shouldn't kill it. And so we hope that
I agree, Sierra.
If this country announces great results, because you're going to see great results over the next couple of years. All these plants, and I'm not just talking about AI. We have the biggest number of auto plants planned.
I can't stand her either, bro. It makes me crazy. Gets under my skin, dude.
Toyota just announced $10 billion in plants built, various couple of locations, few locations in the country.
100%, man.
A little while ago. They're all coming here. They're coming here because of tariffs, because they don't want to pay tariffs, but they're coming here because of the election and the mindset. But when we announce good results,
bro, she married her brother to get into our country, right? Immigration fraud. Then she marries the white guy that was helping her get some kind of millions, and he defrauded his state, I think, or something like that. Something crazy, bro. She marries a white guy, and then goes on TV, says we need to go after white guys. It's crazy, bro. You can't make this shit up. Only us in America, we enable this. It's our fault. Honestly, guys, we should look at ourselves. It's our fault. We're the ones that enable this behavior. We enable it, guys. We really do. We really do, bro. We went from letting them scam us over the phone into sending them money overseas into their country to like, hey, why don't you just come over here and do it? Oh my God, bro.
Market should go up. Now it's when you announce good results, Michael, the market goes down because they say, oh, that means things are good. That means we're going to kill it by raising interest rates. I think it's really wrong. It should be the opposite of what it is now. It should be the way it used to be. We announce good results, the market should go up, and we should keep driving it up and have it keep going up and let it be much, much bigger, much, much better. And
exactly, Dennis.
Growth doesn't mean inflation. They're always afraid that, oh, we have, and if there is inflation, that's okay, then we can slow it down. But we should be able to do a lot better than 3 and 4. We're scheduled to be at 4%, which is pretty amazing because we have a deadhead Fed hair. I mean, this guy, the head of the Federal Reserve is a stiff. And, you fight that. It's amazing. We fight that, and yet interest rates are going down, except with him, not too much. He did a rather, I would say, a rather small number that could have been doubled, at least doubled.
That might be too small for you guys to read, so I'll just help you out. She says, and I agree, we have been asleep at the wheel while they are blatantly telling us what their intentions are. When are we going to stand up and take our country back?
And that's the other thing. I think the rates for the United States are always the lowest in the world because without us, there is no world. Without this economy, there's no world. You could go to some of these wonderful countries that you think are so great. Well, one of the reasons they're great is because we allowed them to get rich off of us. We didn't charge them anything. You look at some of the deals, I don't want to use Switzerland as an example, but Switzerland paid almost nothing in terms of a tariff or a tax or whatever you want to call it, license. They paid nothing, and they're paying now. They're paying a fair amount. I had them at 39%, but I decided to be nice. I was nice, and I think they like us a little bit better. But the money you're talking about is enormous. Our country is a very rich country. But if we do well, the market should go up and the value of our country should go up. And if we do poorly, the market then should go down. It shouldn't be the opposite. And if we go up, we should encourage it to go up more. And those numbers, when you say, 3% of GDP or 4% of GDP, they should be much higher. So, I've wanted to say it, I do say it, I believe it, and we have to get a mindset that when a country's doing well, you don't want to kill the growth. That's what they're doing. They kill the growth. I don't know if you guys even agree with that. They kill the growth because they're so afraid of inflation. But you can have tremendous growth without inflation. Everything goes up with the growth, but that's not inflation. So I think we can do much better than traditional numbers. And you see that. You see that with what we're doing. We're leading in everything. And now, and remember this, as far as prices are concerned, and they talk about affordability, I inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. They say it was 48 years, but I say it was the history. What difference? It's 48 years, they were telling me. They said I was being inaccurate because I said the history. I think 48 years is a long time, but it's actually, I disagree. I think it's the history. So in the Biden administration, I inherited the worst inflation in...
the working man feels it actually more quickly than anyone in the country.
The history of our country.
Yeah.
Or 48 years. And prices were very, very high. I brought the prices down. We had yesterday 3 states where oil was at $1.99 a gallon. How about that? And, with these guys, it was $4, $4.50. In California, it was like $7 because that's a badly run state. But the price for oil and gas and everything else, the price of gasoline was $4.50, $5. And we just hit $1, and we broke $2. I was looking forward to that. Couple of states, 3 states. And I will say that when that happens, oil and gas and energy is so big, it's so big a category, you don't even know what number 2 is. There is no number 2. And when you have the prices coming down for energy like that, you've killed inflation and you're lowering prices. So I inherited very simply the highest prices in history, and I'm bringing them down really fast, led by energy. And when energy comes down, everything else comes down. But I've only been here a short while, and we gave them a beautiful, beautiful thing, and they destroyed it. They would have destroyed our country had they been allowed to stay. If they if we didn't win this election, if we had Kamala, who's the same as Joe, low IQ people, but if we had Kamala, as you would have a country that would be right now in ruins. I believe that 100%. Things would be in a state like nobody's ever seen before. Worse than anything you've ever imagined. Worse than...
Bro, we really need DeSantis in California. DeSantis is getting rid of property tax in Florida, and the guy has a surplus in Florida, bro, to pay the cities that will take a hit if they don't get enough property tax. Can you imagine? The exact polar opposite in California. Polar opposite. DeSantis has so much of a surplus in his state that he's advocating for the cities to get rid of property taxes, and for the ones that cannot, that the property taxes is going to affect the city's income or the revenue, he's going to pay for that with the surplus of the city. Imagine now, polar opposite. Gavin Newsom, California, deficit. And what's the solution? Do more of what got us into the deficit to, I don't know, somehow get us out of the deficit. His solution of getting us out of the deficit is to do more of what got us into it. Tax us more. Imagine that. Dude, if you live in Florida and you own your real estate, you're about to be a major winner.
1929, in my opinion. Instead, we have the hottest country in the world, and we're going to keep it that way. But just to finish, we inherited high prices. We're bringing them down very rapidly, and we're bringing them down to very, very good levels. They'll soon be.
Is there a way to get DeSantis to California just for like a couple years? Just like a couple years. I think if he ran, bro, he would win. And that would seal his fate for president. Imagine you win for Florida, you set an example, and then you go to California for a couple of years, and you turn that into the most beautiful, wonderful state ever that it can be. How could you not? You just automatically, you don't even, I mean, you just automatically would be president.
Be down at very good levels. Michael, please go ahead.
Absolutely. As everyone in this room probably knows very well, leadership in science and technology has been foundational to our economic and national security for decades. And because of the policies that you have championed and the private sector partnerships that you have.
You say this person says, I am in Florida. I am a Florida resident, and no one here likes that guy. Are you like a liberal? That's probably why you don't like him, bro, because you're liberal. Are you liberal? Are you an illegal immigrant? Are you a criminal? If you're a liberal or a criminal or an illegal immigrant or LGBTQ, I'm sure you don't like him. White as can be, are you a liberal? It's a simple question. Are you gay? Straight white, are you a liberal? He's a liberal, bro. He's a liberal.
Beta male, beta male. You are a Trump hater.
No.
And you are a beta male.
That's a lie. He's not Republican.
That's a lie.
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 Made. America currently is leading the world in S&T, and it's benefiting all Americans every day. The one thing that I want to remind this group of, and many of you know, the president has been arguing for American leadership in AI well before ChatGPT was even invented. The president signed an executive order on artificial intelligence leadership in 2019, which set the stage for the revolution that we're seeing today. In the past year, we've built on that. We signed out the AI Action Plan in July of this year, which the President launched here in Washington, along with 3 EOs. And I know a lot of that effort is around creating a regulatory environment to allow for companies like yours to thrive and for the applications that you build to have the biggest impact on Americans every day.
Don't take it personal, bro. We're having fun. You got to have thick skin, dude. It's all good. But very, very weird if you're Republican and you're not any of those things we said and you don't like DeSantis. That's kind of weird, bro.
So thank you for everything.
Curious why. Oh, no.
So you're gay? I didn't know you were gay.
That you do, and I know we're going to keep working together.
How did you become gay?
To make sure that America is the home for the next great technological discoveries.
All right, thank you, Michael. And Michael?
Thank you, sir. Well, look, we greatly appreciate the focus the administration has on lowering energy costs. And energy is the substrate of manufacturing at the industrial level and really an incredibly important input to the economy. We can't be competitive without a super low cost energy industry.
Small town girl.
And had a great meeting earlier today with Secretary Wright.
The majority of us like him.
Really appreciate all the work that he's been doing. This is, of course, incredibly important when it comes to AI.
Can you imagine if the guy gets rid of property tax in Florida? Can you imagine that? That is strong. I'm still looking to see, is Trump going to get rid of income tax? Is that going to happen? That's crazy too, bro.
Because it does consume a great deal of power. All the semiconductor manufacturing consumes a great deal of power. Another big area of focus for us is how we can take all this great AI technology, the AI stack of the innovative companies here in the United States, and sell that around the world. And I'd like to ask Arvind to speak a little bit more about this. Arvind?
Thank you. So, Mr. President, first, we really would like to thank you for everything you're doing for economic growth, as you said. I completely agree with you. Economic growth then drives a lot of other benefits to everything else. We also want to thank you for all the work you're doing on deregulation and making things easier for business to participate in that growth. Michael spoke of the AI stack.
Beautiful, Bill. Did you get that Slurpee, bro?
It's incredibly important that under the action plans that you have laid out and Michael Kratzer just spoke of, we really help promote the AI stack, which is not semiconductors only. Those are incredibly important, but it's semiconductors, it's software, it's the systems which many of us here build, and it is the software applications on top. The ability to take those to all our friends in countries, so all the friendly countries, is going to be very, very important. And we wish to work with your government to make sure that we can do that, because otherwise we're afraid that competing countries are going to be able to get that stack. So we would say that.
Anything that you're looking at that we can help you with so that you create a bigger and better IBM and hire a lot more people? Anything you need?
A few countries, we'll speak to members of your administration to make sure that those can go and that barriers get lowered for being able to do it quickly. We agree guardrails are necessary, but lower barriers would be very, very helpful.
You mean tariffs?
No.
Because are these countries are they tariffing you, making your life difficult? Are they doing anything else to make your life difficult?
It's the ability to take certain systems which have semiconductors inside them into these countries. So right now, because we have controls on where all the semiconductors can go, then the entire system is restricted. That's what we want to do. The same as
how many countries do that?
Probably a half dozen. So
I can tell you the countries already. I know.
Yes.
I know every country very well.
And
we have ways of combating that quickly. So you'll let me know.
And the last part I'd like to say is I'd also like to thank you for all that you're doing to help modernize government itself, because we think that that's incredibly important. You made a number of announcements, but a couple that I'd just like to point out. We worked with Commissioner Frank Bisignano to help make Social Security better. So I would like to thank you for your help on that. And we'll work with him on making IRS.
He's done a fantastic job.
He is. Frank's great.
He's done a great job, Frank. He's had a great career, actually. Left a tremendous career where his salary...
Solid, Random. Love to hear that. Our country, they just literally, Trump and this guy from IBM were just talking about our government doing the same thing, upgrading.
I think was 100 times greater than it is now. And he was at J.P. Morgan Chase, and he's doing a fantastic. He did a great job at Social Security, quickly.
And we hope to help him replicate that now at the IRS also.
Very good. Thank you very much. Good job. Cristiano, please.
Yes, just a few points. I think, first of all, Mr. President, thank you for your vision. Thank you for understanding the importance of the American private sector in industry, I think, and the growth of the economy.
So, with the appropriate people, the wrong people. And one, amazing.
Or would you send to Nicolas Maduro?
Both of them.
I think he's taking questions now. I fast forward a little bit.
Yes, sir. We want you to just dominate the whole world in terms of what you do. To
Three top supernations.
we just want people to come. People walk down the streets. They go into restaurants at night. It's beautiful. It's like this beautiful thing to see because till I got here, this was a very, very bad place. We had a terrible thing happen 2 weeks ago with terrorism with regard to two National Guards people that are so phenomenal. One is no longer with us, and one, amazingly, we weren't looking with great hope on that, that Andrew. And today he got out of bed, actually, stood up, didn't say anything. It's a little early, but the chances of Andrew, other than his mother, who said, nope, he's going to be okay. His mother was the most positive person. And could be that she'll be right. It's pretty amazing. Made progress. It was, both of them were so badly hurt, we never thought that one could survive. So it looks like Andrew's doing pretty well.
Mr. President, the winner of the Nobel Prize dedicated the prize to you, the Nobel Peace Prize. And she led Venezuela at a great risk to make it to the ceremony. There is a risk she could be arrested, actually. What would happen if she's arrested? What message do you send, or would you send to Nicolas Maduro?
Well, arrested by who? The Nobel Prize Committee? That's probably the ones that would arrest. I don't know anything about it. She was very gracious. She said I should have gotten the Nobel Prize, and I don't, I'm doing this to save lives. I'm not doing it for any other reason. But no, I don't like if she would be arrested. No, I wouldn't be happy with that.
Mr. President, Senate Republicans currently have a healthcare proposal that would take away, let those ACA subsidies expire, and then put about $1,000 in people's HSAs. Do you think that is enough money, and how do you ensure that people who will see those tax subsidies expire won't see their healthcare costs skyrocket?
Well, the Unaffordable Care Act, which is Obamacare, they call it now the unaffordable because it's unaffordable. It used to be called the affordable, but it was never affordable. It was always bad. It was basically designed for the benefit of insurance companies. And what we're doing is we want all of the billions and billions of dollars that went to insurance companies to go directly to the people, and they can buy their own health care. And people love it. I don't know if the Democrats are going to approve it because they want the insurance companies to make money. It was a scam. Obamacare was a scam. But we're going to see. I mean, the Republicans, I can tell you, want the money to go to the people. And we're winning that battle. The Democrats are having a hard time with it because they're in the pocket of the insurance companies. Yes, please.
Yes, we spoke to some European leaders today, I think, sir, about Ukraine.
I did.
Could you tell us about that? And is there a new revised peace plan that Ukraine has presented?
The leaders of France, we spoke to, and Germany, and UK, all very good leaders, very good friends of mine, and we discussed Ukraine in pretty strong words. And we'll see what happens. I mean, we're waiting to hear answers before we progress. We're not spending any money in Ukraine. We're selling basically missiles and everything else to NATO, and NATO's paying us, and then they distribute it to who they want. I guess they're mostly distributing to Ukraine, but we're not spending money. But we are. We're spending a lot of time and a lot of effort. Because last month, 27,000 soldiers were killed. Both, think of it, 27,000. That's if you take a football game and take half the stadium, that's 27,000. So 27,000 soldiers were killed. Russian and Ukrainian soldiers were killed. And I want to see that stop. We'll find out. Look, there are a lot of things happening right now. A lot of people say it's closer than it's ever been. It's a war that would have never started. If I were president, would have never started. It's a war that should never have started. But we'll have it figured out, I think, within a pretty short
You say very strong terms, sir. Could you explain that?
Well, I think we had some little disputes about people, and we're going to see how it turns out. And we said before we go to a meeting, we want to know some things. You know, they would like us to go to a meeting over the weekend in Europe, and we'll make a determination depending on what they come back with. We don't want to be wasting time. Sometimes you have to let people fight it out, and sometimes you don't. But the problem with letting people fight it out is you're losing thousands of people a week. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
Mr. President, 2 questions. One, the oil tanker. Who owns that oil tanker?
You'll get that information later.
Okay, and have you spoken to Maduro since your last conversation?
No,
or has
I
it
haven't.
only been one conversation?
No.
And when you say that the European leaders want to have a meeting over the weekend, are you talking about with Zelensky or with them?
With Zelensky and us.
And you said in an interview yesterday that you think it's time for Zelensky to start accepting things. What things are you talking about?
I think he has to be realistic, and I do wonder about, how long is it going to be?
When is Zelensky going to step down and let someone else run that country, man? When is he going to have an election?
Till they have an election. It's a democracy.
Oh, there you go.
It's a long time. They haven't had an election in a long time. It's losing a lot of people.
Crazy, I had no idea he was going to say that.
And it's possible that the people, if you look at the polls, I will say 82%, there was a poll that came out, 82% of the people are demanding a settlement be made, Ukrainian people. They want to see a settlement be made. I understand that. They're losing thousands and thousands of people a week. They want to see it ended. And I do say, at what point, when do they have an election in Ukraine? That's not casting dispersions on anybody, but they do have a massive corruption.
Zelensky isn't a dictator. Zelensky is a stage freak, bro. We've seen him on stage dancing around. The guy has no business leading that country. How has he helped the country? What has he done to help the country? Why is he still running the country? If I'm Ukrainian, bro, I'd be pissed.
Situation going on there, and they do say, when are they? People are asking this question: when do they have an election? Are they going to have an election, or are they going to just keep it going like this? So I think it's time to get that war settled.
And of course, Zelensky knows as soon as the war is over, he's going to have an election, and he won't be in power anymore, right? So he probably doesn't want the war to end.
And I think it's a war that can be settled.
He just wants to keep running around in sweatpants and shit.
But it takes two to tango.
Mr. President, enough about the new owners of Warner Brothers Discovery to make changes at CNN, big changes, and have you spoken to Jared about it? What are you doing with him, or are you just sort of wall him off a little bit?
So what do you want to know?
What changes do you want to see at CNN under new ownership?
Well, I'm not involved in that. I will be probably involved, maybe involved in the decision. It depends. You have some good companies bidding on it. I think the people that have run CNN for the last long period of time are a disgrace. I think it's imperative that CNN be sold, because you certainly wouldn't want to put people, just leave those people with some money, good money, and CNN, so that they can spend even more money spreading poison, because it's lies. It's a disgrace. So I wouldn't want to see the same company end up with CNN, the same company with money, because right now they don't have too much money, but they have value, I guess, based on the bids. So they've got value. But I think CNN should be sold, because I think the people that are running CNN right now are either corrupt or incompetent.
And that'll be a factor in the decision making, because we've got some.
Well, in my mind, but I can be talked out of that by some very talented people that we have, antitrust people. But I just think that the people that have run CNN into the ground, by the way, nobody watches, very few people watch. I don't think they should be entrusted with running CNN any longer. So I think any deal should be guaranteed and certain that CNN is part of it, or sold separately. But I don't think the people that are running that company right now and running CNN, which is a very dishonest group of people, I don't think that should be allowed to continue. I think CNN should be sold along with everything else.
I agree with Random, bro. You want that to happen, you pay for that, bro. Leave everyone else out of it.
You spoke about affordability.
You have a mental illness and you want to exacerbate the mental illness by spending taxpayer dollars to do some kind of permanent something and make your situation worse, you pay for it.
Earlier in your remarks and yesterday in Pennsylvania, how much more can we expect to see you on the road kind of delivering that message? And are you worried at all about the Democrats winning a couple more things in Miami and Georgia?
I don't worry about it. You know, it's like statistically, it's amazing when you win the presidency, even if you win by a landslide like we did, and even if you do a good job. And some people say we've done the best opening 10 months in history, you know, in the history of the presidency. I think we have. Who's done better? We ended 8 wars. We have the strongest economy. We have $18 trillion coming in, which is more than any country had, times I think 5 or 6. 18 trillion is a lot even in your standard, right?
Yes, sir.
Even for that guy, 18 trillion is big numbers. But we have $18 trillion coming in. Pretty amazing, right? I think Qualcomm...
Was someone in the chat in favor of taxpayers paying for sex changes?
I'd be very impressed if they had even a little piece of that. So we've done a great job, but for whatever reason, and nobody's been able to give me an answer, when you win the presidency, you seem to lose the midterms. Even if you win the presidency by a lot and you do a great job as president. You know, some presidents have done good and they've lost, I think it's like 2 times in the last many, many years it's been won. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. Usually I can figure things out, but I don't know why, but that seems to be. But other than that, we should win because we're doing great. The economy is roaring. I think the economy is only going to go, better with all this money pouring in.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was trying to figure it out, but I was like, all right.
We have factories being built, and forget about AI. We have AI more than anybody. We're leading AI by a lot. But we have many car companies coming in from Canada, from Mexico. They're coming in from Mexico. They're coming in from Canada, from Japan, from Europe, all over Europe, Germany, all over Europe. We're doing great. But for whatever reason, it doesn't matter how well they're doing, good and bad. The bad you understand, but even when a president is doing well, they seem to not do well in the midterms. So we're going to try and change it. There should be no reason for it. If anybody at the table can figure out, Bruce, a nice psychological reason, but so I want to win, and winning the midterms is important. People want us to win the midterms, and I think we have great spirit. We should win the midterms, yeah.
Guys, I agree that we shouldn't pay for people's sex change surgeries. For sure, I 100% agree with that. But even worse is like a lot of these other things that we're paying for that I don't agree with. We should not be paying for this much welfare. We should not be paying for nearly as much welfare as we're paying. Definitely not to illegals. Definitely not to, able-bodied people. We shouldn't be doing that. And it's way more than the sex change money. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest one. That's the biggest one. And it's it's creating generations and generations of people that are lazy bums living off other people, virtue signaling, have no responsibility for themselves, no accountability. And it's the worst thing, I think, in my opinion. I'm going to do a video on that, just that by itself. But dude, that's the biggest disaster, in my opinion, is this welfare state that we are inching towards.
Under Joe Biden's administration, during COVID specifically, Biden removed the safety standards on abortion drugs, Now I'm hearing from a lot of pro-lifers that they're very anxious because yesterday Bloomberg reported that your FDA is slow walking a review of the abortion drugs that Secretary Kennedy promised.
Yeah, I
How
don't
soon
know.
do you want to see that?
I'll find out. I'll ask them.
Do you want to see it?
I don't think they're slow walking anything, but I'll find out.
Mr.
Yeah.
President,
Any update on the clashes between Thailand and Cambodia, sir?
Yeah, I think I'll have to make a phone call. I was going to say that the Thailand and Cambodia, one of the 8 that I settled, they've been fighting for a long time. They've been fighting for a very long time, many, many, many decades. But I got along great with both. I found they were 2 great leaders, 2 great people, and I settled it once. I think I can do it pretty quickly. I think we're scheduling a phone call tomorrow.
Mr. President.
With Thailand.
On the Fed chair.
With Thailand, if you know, just to answer, Steve, with Thailand and Cambodia, I think I can get them to stop fighting. Who else can do that? Think of it. Settled 8 wars. Every once in a while, one will flame up again, and I have to put out that little flame. I have to put it out, but we're going to put it out again. So I think I'm scheduled to speak to them tomorrow and see if I can. It was unfortunate what happened. I mean, I know exactly what happened. It got it started a little bit, but we'll see if we can put it out.
We're interested in the seizure of this tanker. What happens to the oil on that ship?
Well, we keep it, I guess.
Where does it go?
They're talking about the tanker. He said, what happens to the oil in that tanker that we seized? Trump says, we keep it, I guess.
What does it go to?
Well, you have to follow the tanker. You know, you're a good newsman. Just follow the tanker.
Do you know where it was going? Was it going
Follow
to
it.
China?
Get a helicopter and follow the tanker.
Is it true it's going to
But we're
Cuba?
gonna. I assume we're gonna keep the oil.
Mr. President, on Fed Chair, Kevin Haskett said you were going to announce your decision within the next 2 weeks. Is that correct?
Maybe.
Are you doing your interviews with finalists today?
Well, I'm meeting with Kevin Warsh today, so I'm meeting with him, and I sort of have a very good idea what I'm looking for. Again, I'm looking for somebody that will be honest with interest rates. That's all. I just want honesty. Our rate should be much lower. Our rate should be the lowest rates in the world. Because all these countries that you see, you know, with low rates, many of them are low because of us, because they suck so much money out of us. But that's not happening anymore. We should have the lowest rates in the world. And without us, none of them really exist as an economy. I mean, I can show you these really prime, really wonderful countries. They've had nothing but success. It's because they took so much out of the United States. I mean,
Surfer dude, what are you talking about? Solution? It says I think we are all looking for solutions. Solutions for what? For what exactly? To become something that you're not? To actually morph into some other creature that you're not? Like, should we also help children that think they're wolves to turn into wolves? Should we help people turn into like cats and dogs? These furries? Like, what are we talking about exactly? Turn men into women and women into men? What exactly are we trying to do? I'm confused. You want to play Halloween and become something else, and you want to make it a permanent thing. You want to go and do it and make everyone pay for it? Or what are you trying? What solution are you trying to do? What exactly are you trying to do? I'm confused.
it's one of those little problems.
So weird.
I want to see that when we do well, we're rewarded for doing well, not the way it's been for the last pretty long period of time.
Are you asking for finalists to pledge lower rates?
I'm trying to understand. I'm not trying to come at you, just trying to understand.
Are you asking
Like
these
what exactly, what type of solutions, what is the problem that we're looking for solutions for?
Finalists to pledge to lower rates if they become the chair?
No, I'll be asking questions and I'll be able to figure it out.
Mr. President, we have 3 countries sending drugs to the US, Mexico,
Okay, you timed them out. Okay.
Venezuela, and Colombia. And you talked to the president of Mexico, you already talked to Nicolas Maduro. Have you considered talking to the president of Colombia, whom you call a drug dealer?
No, I haven't really thought too much about him. He's been fairly hostile to the United States, and I haven't given him a lot of thought. He's going to have himself some big problems if he doesn't wise up. Colombia is producing a lot of drugs. They have cocaine factories that they make cocaine, as you know, and they sell it right into the United States. So he better wise up, or he'll be next. He'll be next too. And I hope he's listening. He's going to be next. Yes.
Who's going to be next?
We don't like people when they kill people, and they sell drugs. They kill them in the United States and Colombia. And I hope he's listening. He's going to be producing a lot of drugs. He's.
You're talking to the president of Colombia, who you call a drug dealer.
Oh, you're talking about President of Colombia, who he called a drug dealer.
No, I haven't really thought too much about him. He's been fairly hostile to the United States, and I haven't given him a lot of thought. He's going to have himself some big problems if he doesn't wise up. Colombia is producing a lot of drugs. They have cocaine factories that they make cocaine, as you know, and they sell it right into the United States. So he better wise up, or he'll be next. He'll be next too. And I hope he's listening. He's going to be next. Yes.
Mr. President.
Because we don't like people when they kill people, and they sell drugs. They kill them in the United States, and Colombia is a major manufacturer of drugs, meaning cocaine in particular, as you know.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Multiple House Republicans in recent weeks, days, have been critical of Speaker Mike Johnson. I wanted to ask you if you're still confident in the Speaker to keep his conference together ahead of the midterms, and how often are you speaking about him?
I think Mike Johnson is great. You know, he's had a majority of 2, 3, 4, then back to 2. We actually had 1, so we were 1 heart attack away from disaster. So everybody prayed for everybody's health. I think Mike Johnson's been a fantastic speaker. I mean, a very hard job because, you know, when you have a small majority, and we got the biggest bill in the history of our country approved, the Great Big Beautiful Bill. I call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. There are different names for it, but to me it's a Great Big Beautiful Bill because it gives the biggest tax cuts in history, the biggest regulation cuts in history. No tax on tips, no tax on
I like Mike
Social
Johnson
Security,
too.
no
He's
tax
great.
on overtime. I think Mike Johnson's been a great speaker. I think few people could have done that job.
Do you want to see another big package move through Capitol Hill the next year, or?
Well, we don't need it because we got everything. You know, this was supposed to be 17 bills. And I think it was my idea, but, you know, with the concurrence of people that have done this a long time. And I said, why don't we make it 1 bill? Because it's very hard to get things approved by the Democrats. And it worked out because there was something good for everybody. If we would have done 17 bills, we wouldn't have gotten 1/3 of them approved. It was something great for everybody in the one, you know, the Great Big Beautiful Bill.
Good to see you, Mr. President.
Hi.
I follow up on the event last night in Pennsylvania. Huge crowd turned
Yeah,
out there.
big crowd.
It seemed like Rally Trump was in prime condition last night. You enjoyed it. Can you just give me your thoughts on that? Then I do have a question on the gold card.
Last night was amazing in Pennsylvania. We had a tremendous crowd. It was like freezing. And the people, the thousands of people on the sidewalk trying to get in, or the streets. It was an amazing evening, actually, and I think people really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. You could tell that.
I can tell that you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I really did. Well, you know, it's easy to enjoy when you do a good job, and, you know, when you can talk about things in a very positive way. It's hard not to say. We have potentially the greatest economic boom in the history of the world. It's being built right now. And when it opens, there will be nothing ever in history like what's happening in our country. And, you know, Washington, D.C. is safe, and Memphis is now. Look at Memphis. Crime is down 60% in Memphis. We just got there 3 weeks ago. And we're going to have New Orleans. New Orleans was we just sent a group of people there, and crime is down 28% in about 3 days. You know, we do a good job, you know, and these are central casting people. These people they're very tough people if they have to be. They're very good, they're great patriots, but they are the toughest, and they don't take any nonsense. And every place we go, we knock down crime. Too bad that we're not invited more into Chicago, because we could save Chicago very quickly. But even that, we're doing it on a minimal basis until, you know, at some point we'll just go in and do what we have to do if the governor doesn't wise up. They got a bad governor, they have a bad mayor. I would say they're both incompetent, but it's hard to believe that people don't want to stop crime. We could stop the crime in Chicago in about 2 weeks. Go ahead.
Literally,
My
bro.
question's on the,
Literally
on
can
the
stop
gold
crime in
card.
2 weeks over there.
I
They don't
apologize
want
if I missed the answer to this. Is there a limit to how many gold cards these companies can buy?
Howard?
So the program is part of the already approved visas. So we're just going to have great people come into this country. You know, the average green card holder earned less than the average American. So they were more likely to be on the dole and be on our assistance programs than average Americans. And the idea is from President Trump, he wants to raise it, bring in the best people into America. So same visas, but now just full of the best people.
Basically, it's a green card, but much better, much more powerful, a much stronger path. And a path is a big deal. Have to be great people, but much stronger.
Dude, just say, I love it when they say, give me one reason or one thing he did. It's so great. Because you could just go to all the things liberals cried about during the election and after the election. Remember that one of the biggest ones they cried about? Eggs. It's so dumb, but they cried about eggs. They cried about eggs. They cried about eggs and eggs and eggs and it was all day eggs, bro. That's just one of many, many, many things.
Path. And it also, in addition to that, helps companies, because not only for companies, but if IBM gets somebody number one in his class at the Wharton School of Finance, and you're dying to get the person, but you can't guarantee the person stays in the country because oftentimes they'll say, I'm sorry, sir, you got to get out of here. You have 24 hours, right? And you say, where's my employee? Now IBM can buy a card, and that employee can be there for essentially a very long period of time.
Mr. President, could you tell Bruce?
It's so needed for the companies. You know, it's needed for others, but really, it's basically a much better form of a green card. And you can't get green cards; they are impossible to get. This is much better than a green card. Yeah.
Yes, so did you tell Bruce Blinken not to run for governor, or that she should think about not running for governor?
I haven't spoken to. First of all, he's a friend. She's a friend. These are two great people running. In a way, I hate to see them running against each other. I hope they're not going to be damaging each other. But Elisa's fantastic, and Bruce is. They're two fantastic people.
Yep. No more DEI. No more men in women's locker rooms. No more men in women's sports. Close the border. Help clean up crime. Lowering and keeping inflation low. Bringing manufacturing back into our country. The plants and factories and all this stuff is being built as we speak. All the major companies, all of them, from the Apples to the Nvidias to the car companies, Toyotas. You can go up and down every industry. All of them. He just sat down. He's sitting right now with Dell and IBM and all these other guys. They just said they're going to do it. It's endless. AI. You just keep going and going and going and going. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. No tax on tips. No tax on retirement for elderly. Bringing down prices of cost of living. It's not all down all the way, but it's getting there. Getting us to a point where we can start lowering rates. We're lowering rates. Rates are down. All kinds of shit. Most importantly, though, the biggest one, the most important, biggest one of all of these things that nobody has mentioned yet is that it's literally because of Trump that we have freedom of speech back. You guys all forget how much the last administration choked you out. You said one word. Dude, they deleted Jordan Peterson's account. Jordan Peterson. They deleted his accounts. freedom of speech, bro. You guys don't mention freedom of speech. Think about that's the biggest one. It's because of us, it's because of Trump that European countries have a chance to get their countries back. It's because of Trump, Canada, Australia, France, England. They all have a chance. All the wars. The guy's running around. He's everywhere. The guy's everywhere. He's in every city, every state, every country, he's everywhere doing things. Where was the last guy? His feet were up on the desk in the Oval Office. His head was back and he was asleep. But freedom of speech, guys, that's the big one. That's the big one. The biggest, that was one of them. And the other big one is the fact that it's because of Trump that we have a country that we have still elections that are worth a damn. If it wasn't for Trump, they would continue importing immigrants, illegal immigrants, by the tens of millions like they were for the last 4 years. And our elections would be worthless going forward. It's those two things are the absolute biggest two things, in my opinion. I'm just going to play this video. Screw it. I'm just going to play it. Let's go. Let's go. You may not even see it. I'm just going to play it.
If Trump had lost, there would never have been another real election again, because Trump is actually enforcing the border. If you have open borders and you provide a ton of government handouts, which creates a massive financial incentive for people from other countries to come to your country, and you don't prosecute them for crime, they're going to be beholden to you and they will vote for you. And that's why Obama and Hillary went from being against open borders to being in favor of open borders. It is a winning strategy. If they are allowed to get away with it, they will import enough voters to get supermajority voting, and then there is no turning back.
We talked about this before the election, and then
Yes.
you literally pointed towards the camera, you faced the camera and said that if you do not vote now, you might not ever be able to do it again because
Right.
it'll be futile. It'll be overrun.
Yes.
They'll keep the borders open for another 4 years, and then their objective will be achieved.
Correct. If Trump had lost, there would never have been another real election again, because Trump is actually enforcing the border. If you have open borders and you provide a ton of government handouts, which creates a massive financial incentive for people from other countries to come to your country, and you don't prosecute them for crime, they're going to be beholden to you and they will vote for you. And that's why.
That's what it is, guys. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's those two things.
And
stopping the mass invasion and the rigging of our elections by importing illegals and freedom of speech. Every single platform came out and admitted to freedom of speech. And you guys realize that didn't happen until they knew or they had an idea that Trump was going to be president. Zuckerberg came out, talked about Facebook and Instagram. Elon Musk did it before all this and paid double the price of Twitter. Twitter's value was a certain amount. Elon Musk paid double that. And you look up Twitter files, you look up Zuckerberg, you look up any of this stuff. YouTube just came out. YouTube just came out 2 months ago and admitted to doing the same thing.
I always hate it when two very good friends of mine are running, and I hope there's not a lot of damage done. Sometimes it works the other way. The victor ends up being much stronger because of it. A lot of times that happens in politics.
You think it's in a couple months to actually see who performs?
Well, I think in New York we have a convention toward the end of February, and I think you'll know pretty much at the end of February what's going to happen. And I'll probably have to, do what I want to do, but I hope He's running now, as you know, and she's running. We have two very talented people. Either one should win against the Democrats.
Mr. President, the President legacy story lately focuses on one of your cabinet members predicting that you're going to fire this one or you're going to get rid of that one. Of all your cabinet members, who would you perceive as the most under attack?
Well, I think my cabinet's fantastic. I read these same stories that I'm unhappy with this one or that one, and I'm not. I think the cabinet's done a great job. I read a story that I was unhappy with Pete because he was attacking drug dealers. I said, that's not exactly right. I would say very much the opposite. Pete Hegseth has been phenomenal. I read a story recently, I'm unhappy with Christie. I'm so happy with it. I mean, we have a closed border. We have a border that's the best border in the history of our country. Why would I be unhappy? She's fantastic, actually. No, we have a fantastic cabinet. Really fantastic cabinet.
I love it.
I mean, Lutnick I'll have to think about. No, can't have everything. Can't have everything. He's doing great. Well, Howard's done really well, and Scott's done really well. We have just a fantastic cabinet. I'll tell you who.
Guys, think about it. They attack the people they think may be our next presidents.
Is doing a great job is Linda McMahon. We're bringing education back to the states where it belongs. Education is going. We can't do any worse than we're doing right now. Let the states run it. You know, if you go back to some of our states that are run so well, so good, I would say 40 of them. And then you'll have trouble with 5, and you'll have bigger trouble with another 5. But you have 35 or 40 states that will run education as good as Norway or Denmark, Sweden. We have some, you know, the heads of the list are Denmark, Norway, Sweden, a few others. I think if you go to Iowa and you go to Indiana and you go to, I can name a lot of states, I think it would be almost the equivalent or maybe better. But you can't run a school system in Iowa from Washington, D.C. Yeah.
I like that.
The Gaza plan, when do you expect to announce members of the Board of Peace, the leadership of that?
Well, we'll do it early next year. And the Board of Peace are going to, it'll be one of the most legendary boards ever. Everybody wants to be on it. It's mostly going to be, I guess, you know, we weren't thinking about it that way, but they want to all do it. Basically, it'll be the heads of the most important countries.
Mr. President.
They all want to be on. It wasn't really planned. We thought we were going to get very distinguished people that do that kind of thing for a living. But really, it looks like it's turning out to be, they want to be on the heads, the kings and the presidents, prime ministers, they all want to be on the Board of Peace.
Mr. President, on the follow-up to last night's rally, can you clarify, you have called the affordability crisis as a Democratic hoax, but you also want to make America affordable again?
No, the word that they use is a hoax, and because they're the ones that caused the problem. I'm talking about when you're trying to say it a different way. Now, it's pretty simple, though, if you listen. It's a hoax where they created the problem. They're the ones that gave the high prices. So when they use the word affordability, they shouldn't be using that word because they're the ones that created this problem. They created the highest inflation in history, and they created the highest prices in history. And now we have to get those things down. But when they look and they say affordability. They never discuss it. They just say the election's about affordability. Well, it may very well be. I think it's also about still the border. You have to remember the job. You know, the sad thing is for 7 months, we've had no people come through our border. Nobody can even believe it. 0 people. And the people that do that are largely Democrats, which the people that do the stats. We've had no people come in other than coming in legally. But if you take a look, and nobody wants to talk about that. In fact, last night I said, let me talk about the border. My own people told me, sir, nobody cares about the border anymore. You've fixed the problem. I said, do I get a little credit for fixing a disaster where...
Eric says, Medi, energy not only drives the prices down across the board on basically everything, and if as a country can I read that right. Can undercut the other countries in prices. Other countries like Russia will be forced to end the war. Yeah, I think a lot of countries are dependent on Russia, especially European countries, because they went crazy on this climate nonsense. And that's helping Russia a lot. Yeah, I think energy is a big one.
Millions of people a month would flow into our country, and from prisons and from gangs and from drug dealers and mental institutions. They say, sir, you fixed the border, nobody cares. I say, but I care. It's sad when you fix something and then you can't even use it, you can't talk about it. My own people don't want to talk about it anymore. But very simply, the Democrats created the worst crisis of inflation that this country's ever had. And with that came the highest prices that we've ever had. And I'm fixing it.
Mr. President, has Secretary Hegseth told you why he hasn't released the video of the second strike?
I didn't know they're on the verge of collapse again. Interesting.
No, he hasn't told me. I thought that issue was dead. You're surprised you bring it up. You must be CNN.
Lawmakers are still
Are you
talking about it
CNN?
on the Hill.
Are you CNN?
I am with CNN.
Oh, gee, I'm shocked to find out.
Damn, that was good. She asked about the second strike, and he goes, that was already dead already. I'm surprised you brought it up. You must be from CNN. She goes, yeah, I am from CNN.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know about lawmakers. Which lawmakers you're talking about?
Most of the Democrats have been talking about trying to release it.
I mean, the people that you work for, the Democrats? You know you work for the Democrats, don't you? You're basically an arm of the Democrat Party. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's go back before we end this. Let's go back. I want to play that. Let me just align this so you can see her, because you could see her face in this. Hang on one second. Let me just go like this. There's Trump on the left, and here she is. She's on the right. Let me just zoom in on her so you can see her. Let me go like this. Here, and then let me go back and play this. And then we'll cut the stream, bro. We'll be good. We'll be done right here. Let's go. Right. Where is it?
Talking about
Most of the Democrats have been talking about
that issue is dead.
Mr. President,
Right here.
has Secretary Hegseth told you why he hasn't released the video of the second strike?
No, he hasn't told me. I thought that issue was dead.
She's right here on the right.
You must be
Lawmakers are
CNN.
Lawmakers are still
Are you
talking about it
CNN?
on the Hill.
Are you CNN?
I am with CNN.
Oh, gee, I'm shocked to find out.
But lawmakers are still talking about it on the Hill.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know about lawmakers. Which lawmakers you're talking about?
Most of the
Democrats?
Democrats have been
Talking
talking about
Democrats?
trying to release
I
it.
mean, the people that you work for, the Democrats?
Damn, bro. Straight up. He says, I don't know which lawmakers are talking about it. You work for the Democrats that you work for?
You know you work for the Democrats, don't you? You're basically an arm of the Democrat Party.
You're an arm of the Democrat Party.
Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
I love the way he says that, bro. I love it, bro. I love it. Joshua, State Line, dude, Min, everybody, bro. Love you guys. Thank you, Eric. Everybody. Thank you for joining. That was a good stream. If you haven't seen that last video I just posted, well, you couldn't have because I just posted it before I went live. I just posted a video, not a live stream. It's a video. So if you look at my account, you look at videos, I did a video. You saw part of it where I put Jesse Lee Peterson calling out a lie. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Check it out, bro. It's cool, pretty cool. If you do check it out, like it. Drop a comment too. It'd be great if you do. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Have a good day. And I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Appreciate it. And I'll put a little outro video in case you guys want to keep chatting a little bit. Here we go. Where is it at? Here we go.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign. Securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive.
We are all Charlie Kirk!
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came in on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person.
In that same year, you had the left side destroying Teslas, destroying Tesla buildings, committing violence.
And they used the other pen and everything. He didn't approve this stuff. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom.
Rid of racism and stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man, and I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Military person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything.